Today, I want to talk about how I bought 80 units of real estate in an 8 month window. So that's massively scaling, right? And for context, I had about five single family homes at the time. In an 8 month window, I bought 80 units of real estate. So let's dive into it. So I basically sent out my direct mail campaign starting in March of 2021. So I sent out 300 letters a month using got my data from PropStream, and I outsourced my letters. You can check out my links down below in the bio, or if you're interested in signing up for my direct mail mentorship or direct mail done for you service, check out the links down below. I do offer a service where I do direct mail for you, but also teach you how to do direct mail as well. But I sent out 300 letters a month for 6 months. So in March, I sent out 300 letters, not much of a response. April, sent out letters, once again, not much of a response. But in May, when I sent out my letters, that's when I started picking up a lot of responses. And this is how letters compound. So, and then this guy reached out to me. He was an attorney, and he owned this 26 unit apartment complex for about 20 years. So that kind of indicated to me that it was paid off. He was self-managing it, so he actually used the one unit as his office, to work out of, and he would self-manage everything. So he did his own property management, he did his own maintenance, he did his own pest control. He actually was a realtor just for personal use, but he was kind of a do-it-yourself type of person, right? And that's very typical with mom and pop owners, and very typical with investors who just want to own one or two for tax purposes or for extra income or retirement, right? So he sent me an email, and this was I think roughly around June of 2021. So within like 3 months of sending letters out, I had this guy reach out to me, and he sent me an email, and then he would only communicate with me through email because he was a lawyer or attorney and wanted everything documented, right? So I'd actually never talked to the guy. I only met him when I was on site doing inspection. But pretty much, he just said, "Hey, make me an offer," and I just made him an offer at tax assessed price, and he took it. And I was surprised. I thought we were gonna negotiate back and forth. So I was kind of ready to have a higher price, but he ended up taking my initial offer. So it was a great deal for me, right? Like, it appraised at $250,000 over what I offered. So I made instant equity day one. So I basically got my first apartment complex, I believe in like end of August of 2021, right? So that's my first deal. And then in 3 months later, so November of 2021, that's when I closed on my mobile home park. So once again, this was an off-market deal through a connection that I made with my property manager, who's also a consultant, and they had this deal in Alabama where it was 200 lot mobile home park. It was high vacancy. I think only about 30 lots were occupied. There are like 30-40 homes that were empty and need to be fixed up. There may be like 15 homes that need to be torn down, and it was a huge value add park, right? So for me, I was very blindsided by the upside potential and what the possibilities are, because I knew, okay, I'm buying this for $1 million, and if I fix it up and it's all full, it's going to take like 5 to 10 years to do that. But if you're able to do that, this thing's worth 10, 12 million easily, and this is my golden goose to retirement, right? And I'll make a deeper dive video into my mobile home park. And if you've been following me, I lost money on the mobile home park. I lost $60,000, but basically bought for $1 million. Put 10% down, and I was like, all right, I'm gonna fix up these homes, rent them out, get money, use the cash flow to do it, right? So within, I think, 3 months of closing on my 26 unit, I have a mobile home park, which was around 30-ish units. But I would go on to add like 10, 15 more units on that one. And then fast forward all the way to May of 2022. This guy reached out to me. He actually reached out to me, I think, end of 2021, and it was part of my initial mailing campaign where I sent out about 300 letters a month over a 6 month window. And he actually wrote back a postcard to me because he lost my letter, but he had my outer envelope, which had my name and address. So he didn't know my email, he didn't know my number because he lost the postcard. So he actually wrote me a letter. He just said, "Hey, I saw your letter, interested in selling, like reach out to me." And he wrote his name, his number. So I called him and just said, "Hey, got your letter, like, kind of tell me about your property. I'm interested," right? And he just said, "Okay, I got a 20 unit. We're looking to sell it because I want to take the money and throw it into my business." And I forgot to mention the mobile home park he wanted to sell because it was distressed. Obviously I sold it distressed as well. And my 26 unit, he sold it because he wanted to retire. So for him, that $500,000 was his nest egg for retirement. So basically he sold it, probably took the money, and then they wanted to retire because he wanted to retire from his law firm, right? So you have to know their motivations. So the 20 unit, he wanted to take the money and throw it into his business. As I started inspections on 20 unit, found out that there's a lot of deferred maintenance. Like he didn't fix a lot of things. Like we had a burned out unit that he didn't fix. He didn't really raise the rents on his tenants. Some tenants were paying like $200, $300, which was like $200 below market value. This is very common mom and pop, right? Especially those who are self-managing. They don't treat the real estate like a business. They treat it like, a one-off thing, right? They don't treat it like a business, so they don't like renovate things. They don't raise rents. They don't get better property managers, right? Like this is what you need to do if you want to be successful in real estate. So that's why I love buying mom and pop. That's why I love direct mail. That's why I'm obviously very biased towards it, because it's made me a lot of equity. But from basically closing that 20 unit in May of 2022. So if you look at my timeline, August 2021 I got a 26 unit, November 2021 my mobile home park, and then May of 2022 I got my 20 unit. And in between all that, I want to say in April 2022 I made an offer on a 130 lot RV / mobile home park. This one had about 50 mobile homes, which were all park owned, and they were all rented, and then the rest of the 80 slots were RV, and they averaged around 50% occupancy throughout the year. So I actually made an offer on that one. Was looking to like partner and raise money, but it fell through due to due diligence. I can talk about it in another video, but long story short is it had I'm blanking out on the name. It had a lagoon, but the lagoon wasn't big enough for the size of the mobile home / RV park, so that would cost $200,000 to fix. And also it had a water well, and the water well was not for drink use. It was only for agricultural use only. So that needed to be upgraded to standard, which was going to cost like another $100,000. So I asked for $300,000 in seller repair credit so I could fix that. He said no, and thank God I walked away from that deal, because even to this day the deal is still active, right? So like I made an offer on it like in April 2022, and fast forward till like January 2024, the deal hasn't sold yet, right? So I dodged a bullet. And then I made an offer on a 50 unit apartment complex in I think it was a secondary or tertiary market between Oklahoma City and Tulsa. So Oklahoma City and Tulsa are the two biggest metros, and it was in between. And I remember I offered like 2.2 million, and I got beat out by like 50K. And I just remember that deal had crazy upside, but the owner was literally so old school that she would handwrite everything on a paper ledger. Like unit number 1 paid me $300. Unit number 2 paid me this. But why she wanted to sell was the property manager she had ended up stealing from her and cheating from her. And that's why a lot of people fear investing remotely, right? Because like honestly, like I haven't seen my units in a while. They could say like, hey, we're actually renovating these units. Hey, like even we can take pictures of units that's not even renovated, or they just can take a picture of another unit and show it to you, and in reality I'm paying them, they're just using that money to pay me the rent, right? So I thought about this recently. I'm like, I just spent $300,000 to fix up my 26 unit. What happens if my property manager is just took the money and then using it to pay me rent, to make it seem like I'm getting more rent, right? So I was just like, you know what, I probably should make a trip to Oklahoma City and check it out, right? I should drive there and check out my units. I'm a very trusting person, and this is the nature of the business. If you want to scale, right, you have to trust people, but you will get cheated, you will get burned. So I probably should make a trip, unplanned trip out to Oklahoma City, and just make it unannounced, like super last minute, like the day before. I'm like, oh, I'm flying out to Oklahoma City. I want to check out my properties and see it, right? I'm probably due for that trip now that things are a little bit easier for me. I should make an effort to view my 26 unit and my 20 unit, right? I was hoping the next time I visit was when I had another apartment complex under contract. But anyways, I digressed. So to kind of summarize that, I basically bought 80 units, or closed on 80 units in 8 months, and I had a 130 lot mobile home / RV park under contract, which fell through, and I had a 50 unit that I made an offer on, and it fell through. So to kind of summarize everything, it is possible to scale very fast. Like I said, went from 5 units to owning like 80 units very rapidly, right? Like I bought 80 units very rapidly, and it's possible to scale, but you want to make sure you scale at a reasonable pace, right? I would say I scaled a little bit too fast, which is why I lost money in my mobile home park. I probably scaled too fast and I deviated. Mobile home parks was too complicated for me. Like I like simple things that I can scale. Mobile home parks a lot harder to scale versus apartments, so that's why it's my life lessons, right? Like I scaled fast. I bought different asset classes in different markets, and because of that additional complexity, it led to more stress. It led to me losing money, right? So it is great if you do scale. Make sure if you're scaling rapidly, make sure you're just buying the same asset class in the same market, right? Make your life easy. Don't overcomplicate things, right? Just buy in an area where you have an unfair advantage and keep on buying it. So hopefully you found value from my journey of how I bought 80 units in 8 months. Hopefully you took away some key nuggets from this talk, from my lessons, and hopefully this will help you scale your real estate portfolio. If you found this valuable, please like, comment, subscribe, put any questions down below. I'd love to answer the questions, and make sure you share this video with somebody who wants to scale in real estate. Thank you so much, and I appreciate your time.